hang on, we're telling more of your followers to join. They're telling people to join. You must join, you must join. Hello, MC Hauser. Hello, Debza. I'm gonna be live with someone. I'm on an interview. Hello. Supposed to be an interview.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
All right. Hey, now there's more pressure. It's your people. All right. Sanbonani, guys. Dumelangi Kamala Mukarabo Dynamite Nyalungu, the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. I am having a show called the Purpose and Dominance Show, and it is aimed at shedding light to the personal journeys of some of the people who live purpose-driven lives in a manner that sets them apart in respective industries. They are young and old, but equally inspirational. Their social media platforms, as well as the internet, may give you a gist of what they do. But I want to get to know the human behind the brand, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, and most importantly, some of the lessons they took away from the challenges that were brought to them. Right? If you, oh, okay, now it won't be saved on my social media. Okay, it's okay. Let's get on top of it. Marcella Learning Academy, we were there. We wanted you to share some of the memories you remember from that place in particular.
Okay, so as you was just speaking and saying, asking me what's my memories that I can reminiscent about my primary school. Well, man, my primary school, man, I had, it's where I was molded most of what I believe. I went there not even speaking English for one, so now I can speak proper English, decent English, because of where I went. And at my school, we had a principal, man, the owner of the school, Mem Marelia. She was a very strict old lady, but she used to be so nice and so kind to some kids, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I enjoyed the same piece of cake. She was strict at the highest level to me, but when after matric, I once went there to go visit her, and then she said, "I'm happy that you completed your matric and that you're going to be setting your life into new journeys, engineering mostly." She said she was happy because of how troublesome I was when I was at primary school, and that she had to give an extra hand of being strict to me so that she may ensure that I grow up as a kid. That's where I learned, the saying that sometimes when people do things to you, it's not that they hate you, it's just because they sing something and they want to build something. So Miss Marelia was not nice to me. She didn't laugh as much as she laughed to other people, only because she said she wanted to ensure that at the end of the day, I get to be someone and I get to be somewhere. So I was hoping now that I'm on TV, I'll be able to go see her or give her a call. And I couldn't, but as soon as I go home after this lockdown, I'm going straight to her and say, "Ma'am, thank you very much."
Oh no. Okay. Take me back to your teenagehood where you almost got arrested. Take me through why you were going around beating people in Matric Nogal. You were supposed to be a senior, an example. What happened?
Now you want to get me in trouble because now we're doing this live with my people. Well, back when I was in matric, man, I used to have my friends. When at high school you'll have scholar transport that takes people to school. So with us, our scholar transport, we actually asked someone to give us his car, and then there was four of us. So we were driving the scholar transport. We were like the hit of the school. When people are like the guys that are hitting and happening. So we had a car, and we
The
used to
it
drive a
guys.
car. Yeah, we used to even call our car Bugatti. We were driving a Bugatti to school. So, whilst we were at high school, man, my friends and I, we used to drive all together to school, and one of us stopped driving with us to school, and then he stayed in a sort of boarding house of some kind. So this one time they had someone who came apparently and stole and broke in. So so after school, one of the days after school, we saw a guy, and when we were seeing this guy, one of our friends said that man looks like the guy that actually stole from our apartment, from our flats, and we're like, what? He said he looks like him, and then we followed the guy. We saw where he stays and everything. So around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., we went to his house to go collect him. Hey, we murdered the guy. We murdered the poor guy, man. Yo, and it was bad after that. It was bad. Like, it was truly bad that I remember the day when they came to come and arrest us at school. There was around like 11 cops, and there was 7 of us, 11 cops. They were all carrying those big guns. You know, when they carry the big gun and they just enter in your classroom and they just point you with the gun, and then like they call you with a gun, and you're like, what the heck?
Now, does
Man,
that now mess up with your flex?
Then when we got to the principal, hello?
Sorry to interject. Does that now mess up with your flex? Remember, now you are the 8 guys in the school. Now you are being arrested in front of the whole school with guns and everything.
You know, the most stupid thing about growing up, it is when you get to be involved in the wrong things, they think you're like the G of the whole thing. Like our rep, our street rep and cred didn't drop. It actually went up after that thing. Well, like, oh jeez, man. It was funny, but yo, man. So the cops came. They wanted to arrest us. The principal was my uncle. He was a bit complacent in allowing them to arrest us, especially when it was my turn to be taken into the van. And then he said he would rather take us to the police station, but they didn't end up arresting us. Then it was agreed that the community, because it was a school in the rural areas, that the community will then go and discipline us. They took the other 6 for disciplinary. They didn't take me. I was happy I was not part of the 6, because community disciplinary in rural areas in Eastern Cape are not nice, because they beat up those boys. They beat them up so well, man. But I got to have my end of the day. When my father came back to South Africa, he was called and he was informed. I had never been beaten that much in my entire life. You know, when you're the it guy at school and then your parents come and punish you from the top to the bottom of the food chain, that's what it was.
Now, going around beating people is certainly not a leadership trait. So I'm very interested in who introduced leadership to you and how did they do it? Because you were not just an ordinary child, you were very naughty.
It was a bit more of different people, man. It was a bit more of different people. I remember when I was doing all the things I was doing at high school, they used to call me Little Juju, as in Julius Malema, Juju. So I was the little Juju, because I had the influence and the power to speak to people of my age, to do things that they didn't expect themselves to do. And I remember at my high school was the most strictest high school you'll ever find in Eastern Cape. At my high school, you have all these rules. Like in the dictionary, there's words they tell you must skip. You skip those words of casual in my dictionary. You skip those words of holiday. You skip certain stuff, man, because that's how strict the school was. At that school, you don't make noise. You don't just go around throwing papers or pass even paper without picking it up. And you have to keep a bald head. All those strict rules. And I once jokingly said to that story, there's someone that knows the school, that story. You see, they even writing, they know how strict that school was. I remember this one time, people had copied our matric exam. We had access to a matric exam, June paper, and people had copied, man. So we went to a meeting that was supposed to discipline us as a school. And on the meeting, I jokingly said, I'm not going to take the fall for this one. I'm not going to be punished for a paper that I was not involved in. You know, at my school, if they say they're punishing you, you had no way of saying no. And I just said, I'm not going to be punished for something that I was not involved in. I did copy because I want to pass, but for this one, I'm not going to be punished. And then I moved from everyone and I stood alone on the side. Yeah, everyone that was not part of the ones that had access to the paper, they also moved and they stood with me. And the principal was shook at what's happening. And it went bad, man. Like, so from there, it was a bit more of people trying to mold me, shape me. My sister was in varsity before I was. She's my older sister, and she was in SRC and leadership. So when I went to varsity, I wanted to take over from there and just move up the chain. And it happened that things went on and things got better. Hello, Vusi. Hello, Vusi.
Now, you also had an accident. You were involved in an accident as a young boy where a nail ended up on your forehead. We can laugh about it today and call you Mpia Kizungu, but I want to know the state of mind of a the state of mind of such a young boy having going through that. What went through your mind at that tender age?
Yo, I would be lying if I say I knew what happened, man. I would be lying. I always try and wear caps because I have a very bad scratch somewhere here on my forehead, man. It's a very bad scratch. So it's not more of a nail. When I was a young boy, I was playing on an old scrap taxi, and this scrap taxi we were playing on, I was on top of it with my friends, and it was me, my younger brother, and my neighbor. I think we were like 5, and my brother was 4 at the time, and the other one would have been 6 because that's how our age was. In a taxi, you see they always have chairs. They have those chairs people sit on. So now when they remove those chairs, there's always nails which are a bit pointed upwards. So I was playing on top of this taxi, and it had a big hole at the top. So I lost my grip and balance. I went straight down with my head down on the taxi. I fell inside. So there was a nail that was pointed upwards, the one that keeps the chair. It just went straight into my head. When I stood up, I stood up with the whole panel plate, and I went straight home to go, and I was crying. It was bad, man. I remember my mother taking me to the hospital. Taxis they work in the fashion that they stop on the road for everyone that is stopping them. That day, the taxi did not stop. The taxi driver did not stop. After they picked us up, they did not stop on any way. They went straight to the hospital. They drove inside. They dropped me inside. It was a traumatic experience. I just have a glimpse of what happened now that I'm a bit older.
You were also hospitalized in 2019, quite recent. Now, what hit you this time?
2019, let me try and remember. Was it 2019 when I was hospital? It was tonsils. I had a tonsillectomy. Oh, not that one. I was playing soccer.
You're a survivor, yeah.
I'm a survivor. I was playing soccer, man, last year. So while playing soccer, I had someone hit me with an elbow behind my head, behind my ear, man. Like they hit me. After I got hit, I know I just stood. And after I stood, I don't remember what happened. But my friend said I dropped on the ground. And then when people came on top of me, I stood up. I looked at everyone. I took 3 steps, and then I dropped, and I was on a blackout. So I just woke up in hospital, man. And the doctor was like, "Are you still alive?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm still alive." He said, "Do you know what happened?" I was like, "I don't know what happened, but I know I'm just right in front of a white man that I've never seen in my life." And then they explained what had happened. And then the doctor said, after you stood up and you took those 3 steps and fell, that was when your whole body gave up because you could not breathe. So I don't know how you did not breathe from a football pitch to hospital and waiting for the doctor to see you, which was more or less around about 40 to an hour minutes. And I was not breathing the whole time. He said he doesn't know. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll just accept."
Now, having gone through all that, I know that you are a very firm believer in Christ. I'm interested to know, how does your conversation with him change during that period? What's the conversation with God?
The time all of this, in fact, the accident happened in 2018, not 2019 to be exact. After that accident, it was around about October. I went to my house, to my room. When I sat in my room, I said, "Man upstairs, you've saved me a lot of times. You've saved me a lot of time. Now I want you to do me a favor, man. Just give me purpose. Give me purpose, and give me the will, give me the power, give me the ability. Wherever you want me to go to, I will go there. And whatever you want me to say, I will say it as best as I could possibly say." And ever since then, man, I've had SuperSport book me for gigs, for being on TV. I've had people book me for stuffs that I never imagined I would ever be booked for. I've even had to look at my engineering and say, "Do I really want to be an engineer now, or do I just want to go around speaking to people and influencing people's lives?" That's all it has been, man. I just had a conversation with him, and he's been holding his end with that conversation. And that's why I've been holding my end. I don't go a day without posting about him. I don't go without telling people if you have me in a conversation and you tell me how did I get to be where I was, I tell you, God put me where I was. It was grace, it was mercy. I don't know how I got here. If it was by my own actions, I would have long died, man. I've had accident. I had a car accident where a car pulled me. I was supposed to have died. I've had a nail getting stuck in my head. I should have died. I have had a loss of breath for a number of minutes, quite not believable. And I still made it. I still lived. I've been in situations that I can't tell people about because they were so dreadful and deadly that I don't know how I survived, but I did. So I owe my whole life to the man upstairs. I owe him everything.
Lean not on your own understanding. Now, take me back to playing in the taxi. That was at that time Eskorokoro. Would you say that was where you found your engineering bug?
My engineering bug, I didn't find my engineering. My engineering found me through my mother, man.
Okay.
When I was in matric, I was doing applications. So I applied at UKZN for LLB, man. I wanted to do law. My mom said, mm-mm. You know, African parents, they tell you, not Gemaliam, not with my man. You must first do this. And then when you're done with this, you do what you want. So I wanted to do law. My mother said, she took me to a chit chat. She said, I bought you a toy when you were what years old? You broke it. When you were this old, I bought you this. You changed it. You wanted it to look like this. Like I had the habit of, if you buy me a toy, I want to change it from what it looks like to look like what I want it to look like. And it was mostly cars. If you got me, I would make like those wire cars. I would make those go-karts, all of those stuffs. My mother said, you've always been hands-on more on stuffs that you do. You use your hands more than anything. And you've been passing your maths and physics. You're not going for law, you're going for engineering. So I went straight to engineering, and it brought me to where I was today. And I'm grateful that engineering found me, though.
Okay, now as a student, you were also involved in student politics. You are now with the ANC Youth League. I'm very interested to know, how do you end with Varsity Cup now? Because I've never seen comrades at stadiums. So what was it about you that made you get involved with Varsity Cup?
It was English, man. It was English more than anything. So at school, at my school, at varsity, people would remember me the most, and they say, you must Thobani or you must Ed. They'd be like, that guy with the English. You know, they always say I'm that guy with the English fluency. So,
Shakespeare.
Sort of type of vibe. So my team wanted to have an MC for their Varsity Cup games, but they didn't have time to find someone to prep up because their past MC just dumped them on the spot. So they were like, we need someone who's able to speak in front of people, someone with English, obviously. So that's one guy. In fact, it was a conversation with my friend. The team's manager had a conversation with my friend over drinks and stuff. And then my friend was like, I know someone that speaks good English, man. Let's just call him on the spot. They called me. So my friend doesn't speak English, man. He doesn't speak English. He just called me and say, hey, Chief, where are you, Mchan? I'm like, I'm home. And then he said, Mchan, I want us to have, what's going on with the connection here? I don't know. Are people having connection errors, issues?
I'm not sure. I'm hearing you perfectly fine. I can see you.
Hello, Mash. Okay, so the guy was like on some English vibe. Hey, Mchana, how are you? What's happening, Mchana, with your life? I'm like, hey, Lasty, you don't speak English. What's happening with you? He says, you're on an interview. I'm interviewing you here. You know, it's not that he doesn't speak proper English. It just says he's interviewing me. I'm like, what are you interviewing me for? He says, you're having an English audition. All that. Oh, it was funny, man. So then they said they want to book me from Durban to Cape Town the following morning. I got booked, went to Cape Town. Arrived in Cape Town. I was taken to Joburg for training, 2-day training, and then I came back. I ended up being on SABC, on SuperSport, doing Varsity Cup games. So it was more of a grace and blessing that found me lingering around, because I didn't apply. People apply for those things, but I was just called and I found myself there. Hello, everyone that's just joined.
Now, One Day Leader, one of the most impactful youth shows, you were a part of it, even got to be a semi-finalist. Now, take me back to the moment you were announced as top six. I know there's a whole lot of rounds before that, but the moment you were announced as one of the top six contestants, you see now English. Yes. So take me back to that moment. What went through your mind? How did you feel?
Tell you the truth, we did One Day Leader on a Monday, and then they told us to go back home. We will be called the following day on a Tuesday. Was it on? No, we do One Day Leader on a Thursday, man. Sorry, we do it Thursday, and then we were told we would be called. We did it Wednesday that time. We did it Wednesday, and we were going to be called on Thursday. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. When Joburg went back to Cape Town, when I was in Cape Town, I was waiting for the call on Thursday. The whole day, didn't get the call. My father called me. My father doesn't just randomly call me. Like, my father is not that type that just says, "Hey, how are you, my son?" He doesn't do those things. He just have a conversation when it's necessary. Yeah, when there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we just on WhatsApp, we're like, "Hi," and then he says, "Sure." We know he's alive. And then the following day, he'll say hi, and I'm like, "Sure." That's the end of our conversation. So he called me on Thursday to say, "Have you been called? What's the status on your One Day Leader?" I told him I wasn't called, nothing happened. And then he gave me those pep talks. "It's not the end of the world, my son. I'm happy you went to top 20. I'm happy all of this, blah, blah, blah." I gave up. You know, after my father called me on Thursday, because I didn't get the call, after Thursday around about 6 p.m., I was like, okay, cool, I've made peace. I'm not going to be part of One Day Leader season 6, top 6, season 8, top 6. And then when I got to my flat, I came back from work because I was still working in my engineering field at that time. I went to my house. I told my brother and my friends that, "Gents, I didn't get called. So it is what it is." And on that Thursday, we went straight to Spa. We bought meat. We bought stuff for having a pre-party. We were preparing for Friday. That was going to be a go-down Friday because we were going to celebrate my top 20. We bribed. We enjoyed. We had a nice time on the Thursday, because we were doing more of a tears run. And Friday, I went to work. I told my boss, I didn't get called, so I won't be leaving. I'm still going to be around. My boss gave me a pep talk. He gave me like 200 to say, I'm trying to go buy yourself something to eat. You're not going to be called. So it was more of me being told I'm not going to go there because I didn't get the call. At the time, I was expecting to get the call. And then whilst I was working in a plantation, I got a number, it's like an 011. I was not supposed to have a phone because I was inside a plantation. So I pick up the number. I'm like, hello, Jonga man, you busy, to phone, And the lady was like, I'm from SABC One Day Leader. I said, One Day Leader? Okay, then I asked everyone, switch off the machines, because I was like the supervisor at the plantation. Switch off the machines, everyone, pause, hold. Like everyone, claim. People don't just randomly switch off machines in the plantation. Then it was quiet. I said, loudspeaker. I told them, I'm being told I'm out of top 20. I'm being told. So I be told that I didn't make it to top 20. So I told everyone to just wait, listen, so that they don't ask me what happened. And then the lady was like, is this Thobani? I'm like, yeah, it's Thobani. I would like to tell you, Mr. Thobani, you did not make it to top 20. I'm like,
okay.
You hear? I was like, okay, cool. So what now? Why are you calling me to tell me that? Why are you calling me? I was getting angry. And then she said, it's because I want you to come to Joburg. You're going to be part of our top 6 for season. I was like, what? Am I out? Am I in? And then she said, yeah, you must come to Joburg. I said, okay, cool. I don't have time to be playing CC. Can you please drop the phone? And then she said, I made it. I was happy, man. It was quite a happy moment, especially with most of my people having expected me to be out of top 20, and then I come back and I tell them, gents, I'm packing. Next week I'm out of this house. I won't be left alone. So it was that.
Now, in one of our conversations, you said that you may be in the same industry, or rather chasing the same dream, but the objective may not be the same. Now, I want to know, the Thobani Madikizela objective, was it met through the One Day Leader journey?
I went to One Day Leader, and I told myself when I started One Day Leader that, here at the house, I'm going to tell you, like, we all stay together. There's people who woke up every day. And like, I'll tell you for one, Vusi, the winner, he woke up, he prayed to be one day leader. He didn't want anything more than being that one day leader. There's nothing that he wanted more than that. He had his reasons. He would tell me his reasons why he wanted it more, the way that he wanted it. I wanted to win, but mostly I wanted to make my father proud. I wanted to make my mother proud. I wanted to make my family proud. I wanted to go and speak for the rural people from where I come from in Eastern Cape. I wanted to go and speak for Abantu Bangamampondo. We're a tribe that is forgotten in the food chain. I wanted to go speak for those people. And I spoke for my people. I knew my mother and my father would believe because I wanted to make them proud. But after 3 shows and 3 episodes, I found myself from being the Thobani that just spoke for my family and just my few people. I found people from Limpopo telling me that they were inspired because of how I spoke for them. I was not speaking for people. People from Gauteng, they said I spoke for them. People from everywhere around. I had people from Botswana telling me that they're watching and they're happy. A guy from Zimbabwe, I have contacts of people from Zimbabwe now, people that drew inspiration. So for me, it was more about speaking for the voiceless people, the subjected and marginalized people there on TV. And for me to make my own people proud. And guess what? I made more than just my people proud. I made 5 million people out there to be proud and to say, we have been inspired by you. I've left home, I've left one day leader and went home. And I still have people that just say, I'm calling you because I'm happy. I have people that say, can you please give me a call because my son wants to hear your voice, or my son wants to just see you. My daughter wants to just see you, so that they there's those type of things. And I just give them a call and be like, hello, Thobani on the end of the line, Thobani Madikizela, can I please book a video call? And then the kid will be like, video call? Yeah, video call. I can't believe it's you. And when I video call them, they just go haywire. And then I've changed people's life in that aspect. So I've been blessed with more than just achieving what I wanted to do. I've touched people's lives, people that I didn't expect to touch their lives. And I'm grateful to God that God gave me the opportunity and the privilege to change people's lives. It's something that's wonderful, because I still don't know where God wants to take me. Even now, there's people still booking me, wanting me to be part of their lives, people that are starting conversations. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. I remember we went to one of our episodes in what's that place now? I forgot the name. Kutlong, but it's somewhere in Tshwane Metro. It's in Tshwane, in Pretoria. It's one of the classes there. We went there. We tried speaking to the people in the community. There's corruption happening and all of that stuff. So as people were trying to speak to the people in that community, one of the ladies there in the community said, we are not going to speak to anyone because we know you don't speak for what we stand for. And then I was on my phone because I like playing these Leader 3 Zizipo. Zizipo left me with her phone, so the father called whilst we were going to the people in the community, and I was trying to tell the father that we were doing a project and Zizipo is not around. So I was trying to explain those situations. You know, when you're first time a father of a girl calling and then a guy picks up the phone, the whole conversation.
How brave of you.
Because she asked me to pick it up because it was the father, so I had to pick it up, explain, and all of that. So I came late to the scene. When I arrived at the scene, then this other lady was like, man, Kamtiba Mushimane, Mushimane, what TV, Leader 2. I was like, yeah, mom, Leader 2. I was like, Leader 2, Manaka, it was that. And then the lady started telling us that what's happening on the community because they saw Leader 2. So they were like, because Leader 2 is here and he's always speaking for our types of situations, we want to be telling him what happened. So they told us what happened. They were like, 1, 2, 3. You know, when they're just saying everything freely because they see someone they can associate with. And then after that, we went to a mall nearby. And when I was on the mall, I was still on the queue to withdraw money to go and buy food. And then there was a kid who was passing, was looking at me, and was like, I could see the kid could recognize me, but she's afraid. I was like, can I please take a picture with you? I went to the kid to take a picture. When I was taking a picture with the kid, a lot of people came and asked to take pictures with me. And I was like, well, what is happening? I'm just a rural boy from Eastern Cape. Why would people just want to take pictures with me at the mall? It was quite funny, man. It was quite funky. And then I realized that, I've touched people's lives in a way that I cannot believe. Hello, Sponga. sis. Hello, sis. That's my sister,
Alrighty then.
Sponga.
Now that's very profound. Take me back to a few years ago when you became a father. How would you say fatherhood changed your life?
Oh, man. I always say to people that say, congratulations, your father. I say, don't congratulate me. It was not by plan. I would have wanted to have a child in marriage because that's how I grew up. I am a Christian and we don't practice that culture. We don't practice it. But when I got to be a father, my mother is a very strict woman. Like she's very strict. You know, in my family, I told everyone and I actually blackmailed everyone not to tell my mother that I am going to have a child because of how strict my mother was. I had to find my own terms and my own time to call my mother. So I just texted my mother. I said, Mom, I'm going to be having a daughter in a few months. Uh, I'm going to pass your number to the mother of my daughter. So, yeah, that's the situation. When you're called, just say you are my mother. Don't say anything. Just say you're my mother. And then I switched off my phone. I switched it off Kaboma 12:01. I was at lunch, and then I switched it back on around 8 p.m. I found myself having messages, my mother telling me I called voicemail. Yewena, yay, Thobani, yes, you know. I was like that time.
Mm.
And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm dead. I called my mother. I said, Mom, she's like, Kunjani, are you having a good day? How are you taking this? And as I was expecting my mother to kill me, to be all over my neck, but she was just on a frank conversation. She spoke in a way that disciplined me and that told me that, okay, cool, now that you have done this, no more playing. You don't have any room for errors in your life. You don't have any room for mistakes because you decided you want to grow up and escalate yourself. So now you have been escalated and promoted to that room that you wanted promotion to. So now be direct and know what you want to achieve in life. So ever since that day, I have had the opportunity to make sure I make the most mature decisions, irrespective of the situation and circumstance, because I have no room and margins for error. So being a father, man, has changed me into being a more responsible and gullible person in life.
And I think it's also because there's someone now looking up to you as a role model. In our endeavor to make South Africa a reading nation, please recommend a book that would you say has been impactful in your life.
The book that has been impactful in my life, I read a lot of books. I Write What I Like by Steve Biko, taught me about the importance of finding oneself. I read a lot on what's this guy? Why am I forgetting it? I just saw someone that logged in now and I just forgot the name. It's The Wretched Earth by Frantz Fanon. Yeah, Wretched Earth by Frantz Fanon. That book has changed my life a lot, The Wretched Earth. So if anyone was to say I should recommend something, I'd say go read The Wretched Earth and listen to a lot of TD Jakes. That's the two people that touch my life a lot. I read Wretched Earth speaks about the importance of blackness by Frantz Fanon back in the olden days of colonialism and the oppression unto the black people when it was at its core. And now I just listen to a lot of TD Jakes, the purpose-driven, how to be a purpose-driven person. Are you calling yourself a man? See, so that's the book I would recommend and listening to TD Jakes.
Before I let you go, I know just recently you've been announced as, is it the top 100 or top 200 most influential young people? Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. So I was just chilling at my house this other day. I get an email. I'm not supposed to say all of these details though. I'm not supposed. So I get an email, and then they said, we are sending this email to Mr. Thobani Madikizela. Kindly contact us on this number. If we have access, I give them a call, and they said, okay, cool. We had to do a verification audit that we got the correct email. We would like to nominate you into South Africa's most influential young 100 people for 2020. I was like, okay. Young, most influential, and then they said they were going to keep in touch. So right now in South Africa, out of billions and millions, they said I have influenced people. I have influence over people in my country, and I'm amongst the top 100, and I've been privileged, and I thank God for that.
Now, before I let you go, where to from here?
Right now I'm on a semi-holiday, man. Right now, so where to from here? I'm on a semi-holiday, which is my dream.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, I'm on a sabbatical leave, but I still get to do. I have people booking me for interviews like you. I have other people booking me for other seminars. I'm like, I'm on holiday. I'm on holiday. I'm on holiday. I'm still on my dream boards, man, because I'm not so go. I'm so not going back to engineering. I'm an engineer by profession, but I'm so not going back to my engineering. And now I'm having a conversation with God, and God, I want him to tell me where do I go from here. So for now,
What's your next?
yeah, it's been a grace of me doing a lot of capacity building shows, doing a lot of keynote speakers and anchoring. But my plan, it is to go and be on the direct interface in touching people's lives. I've been telling people a lot that I want to go to DRC Congo, I want to go to Ethiopia, I want to go to Somalia. So next year, by grace, I want to go to some of these African countries, spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks in one, and then move to the next, where I'm going to be helping poverty-stricken places, looking for solutions. How can I help them? All those type of vibes. So I have also been applying to a lot of these organizations, and there has been good responses. Maybe soon I'll be posting that I have been employed by one of these big organizations to go and assist in communities, because I want to do community social development driven programs.
Mm. All right, Thobani, thank you very much for your time. Please save this. After this, it'll ask you whether to share on your Insta story. Please say share. And because now we are on your account, we're not on mine. So I'll have to now download it and share it onto my YouTube channel. You can get it at Advocate Dynamite. Thank you so much. All the best with your future endeavors. You are such an inspirational young person. You've inspired the likes of me. And it's a privilege, honestly, to have a platform to be able to engage with you at this level. Thank you so, so much.
Well, thank you very much, man. I am grateful. I am humbled and honored by the opportunity to be invited by respective people to just have conversations with them and their people and the people that they meet. It's quite a privilege. I'm happy. I'm grateful to God. But still to date, man, I still always wonder, why would people find an inspiration from a guy like me? You know, I'm not the smartest. I'm sure for that. I'm not super. I'm smart. You know, in class when they say, I saw a post which said, in class when the teacher comes and says there's only 4 people that passed, even if it was 10 of us in class, I'd be the one that holds their head and say, ish, yeah, ne, yeah, ne.
And I think it is for exactly that reason, that because you are not looking to be perfect, because you are not also trying to be perfect, people find you very relatable. We see ourselves in you, and I think that alone is the greatest form of influence you can ever have on us young people.
I don't know, man. I think people just have I bless God. One, I'm happy that's happening, but I think people are a bit twisted. You know, when I was going to have this live, I passed my sister and I was like, try and look smart. You know, I've been looking at myself on this video and I want to just fix myself and look like. How do you
Look
find
the
this?
parts.
How do you relate to someone that does not even have time to look smart and all that stuff? But it's just, it can only be God, man. It can only be God in my life using me to manifest His power and glory to other people, to touch other people's lives.
So goodbye. Thank you for your time. See you on the other side and have yourself a good day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Chap, chap. Please save the video. Don't forget.
I'll save the video. I'll press save.
Sure. Share to IGTV.
Okay.
Right.
IGTV.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sure.
Otherwise, thank you to everyone that kept and has been live. Yami, I see that you're the last person to text. There's Tokelo, there's Tumisho, Kamzato, there's people that I see, Snapo, Lisakanye, everyone that's still around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for being on this live. I was just doing a live. I was supposed to be hosted by the ladies advocates account, but we couldn't log in, so we ended up being on my account. I thank you for the support, for the continued support, my people. Thank you. God bless you. See you on the other hand. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy safely. Oh, Mkosi Makabi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.